Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit by Planet Reddit. What's something that sounds horrible, but is actually pleasurable once you try it? Having an abscess tooth extracted. Before the procedure, it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. I went in to have it pulled and the dentist tried to explain to me that they could save the tooth blah blah blah. I was in so much pain I just said take it out please. They numbed me up but it didn't touch the pain I was in. After a few minutes of them playing around in my mouth with a pick and pliers, I started to feel pressure on my jaw and the tooth popped out. The dentist was surprised and said, "Yep, I bet that feels better." He said a bunch of infection came out, which is what he was vacuuming out. Immediate relief. Like no pain at all. Relief to the point that I was in ecstasy. I almost cried. This is literally what happened to me. Infected tooth after a dodgy root canal that was basically sitting rotting. I was given antibiotics, but they did nothing. The pain was constant, but it suddenly got much worse over the weekend. I was in the worst pain I have ever felt. 8 AM Monday morning. I basically kicked the dentist door open and begged them to take it out. I didn't care who did it. I was at that stage where the janitor could have turned up with a pair of pliers and I would have given him the go ahead. As soon as that tooth was out, the relief was instant. A slight popping noise, and then it was like being shot full of morphine. I swear, all my other senses had been numbed by the pain, and it was like getting everything all back at once. Everything seemed brighter, louder, and just generally better all round. I've broken bones and had some pretty nasty injuries, but none of them came close to the pain of that bloody tooth. When I had dry socket after my implant, I ended up in the ER with pain. I remember when they stuck this biggest needle in my mouth full of Novocaine, and when the numbing started I breathed and just cried because of the relief. The mouth pain is literally the worst. D&D. I had a friend who, for literally years, would try and get the rest of us to play. It was a hard pass from me every Friday for about 3 years. I had no interest in sitting around and pretending to be a ducking elf or whatever with 18 apostrophes in my name. All with stacks of rule books that are inches thick. No, thank you. Life's too short. Then I tried it, and of course it's wonderful. Sit around, chill with your friends, drink some beers, eat some fancy cheese, kill some imaginary goblins. D&D is daunting at first. There is a lot to pick up, but if you have a friend who can teach you, it's awesome. It gets you immersed in your creative side. It gets you socializing in a whole new way. It's ducking fun. There are so many podcasts that can help you learn. I recommend the show Relics and Rarities, and the podcast Join the Party. I try to include a new player in every group to help them get over that first hurdle. By the time we're done, they're doing voices right alongside the rest of us. My daughter accidentally scratched my eye pretty badly a few years ago, leaving a crescent-shaped cut in my cornea. The doctor told me to put some Visine on it, and it'd go away by morning. I spent the night in escalating excruciating pain, and went to a proper eye guy first thing. I was already freaking out about the pain, and definitely didn't want someone mucking about in there, but he convinced me to let him put in a bandage lens, like a contact lens, but thicker, and it holds the flap made by the cut down. Right before he put it in, he stopped and said, "I want you to remember this moment." And I will, because it was like a light switch turning off. First, blinding pain so bad I wanted to vomit, followed by absolutely nothing, no hurt. I had to wear an eye patch for a couple of days. That's it. I love that he said, "I want you to remember this moment. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the one man who beat you." Throwing up when you have an upset stomach. It sucks before and during, but after you feel so much better. Obviously sometimes that's not the case, but I remember times when I ate something bad and was in bad stomach pain until I vomited and felt instant relief. Honestly, throwing up after drinking too. It feels like it takes the drunk right out of me, but I'm still tired enough to collapse in bed and sleep. It's a rush of sobriety. Skydiving. You do feel nervous the first time right before you jump out of the plane, but after that the rush is amazing and lasts for a couple hours. My first time, the ride up was just so calming. All of the nerves I thought I would have just turned into this very zen feeling. Definitely an amazing albeit expensive, experience. Funny you mention the ride up. So apparently it was the last day this place was open. They were closing shop, or moving. Anyway, you could tell all the employees were having fun and enjoying their last day. The people jumping were my dad, brother, and myself. We are booked in the afternoon and I don't know how the order was chosen, but my dad went. Then bro. Finally it was my turn. So my bro lands. We all high five him and hug. The plane comes down to load me and my instructor, with one other guy. They say they have enough fuel for the run. Let's do it. So we start going up, and then that other guy started taking his clothes off, and wouldn't you know it, he got bare ass naked. I finally had to ask, what the hell is going on? I'm nervous as hell, thinking there is a slight possibility of plummeting to my death and this dude is gonna hang dong. I found out, through tears of laughter, for a person's 100th solo jump, tradition dictates you do it naked. Suffice to say I will never forget the first time I went skydiving, and somehow the ride up was just as memorable. Going to the gym several times a week. Truly, start small, a day or two a week, but make it a thing. If it helps, go with a friend. Having a friend to encourage you can make all the difference, especially if they're at or just slightly above the level you're at. The days you don't want to go are the most important. Just make it into the gym that day, then change. Once you've changed, do some stretching. If you want to go home after, you can. But if you can do one exercise, do it. Then you can go home if you want. Keep that up till you finish. Hey, sometimes you go home after one exercise and that's okay, but you put the effort in to get there and get started. Once you've got a rhythm down, add a day, then another. Aim for 4 days a week. Give yourself a break in the middle. Make it enjoyable. Do a routine you enjoy. Use an app. Read some stuff about it. It becomes intoxicating. Edit. I got much of this idea from the No More 0 Days post a few years ago. I read it early in my lifting life and it became such a core part of how I look at things. I totally forgot where it came from. Thanks to you/Ryan01 for writing it and you/toilet worshipper for reminding me. I sometimes regret skipping, but I never regret going. B-Day. 2 out of my 3 bathrooms have a bidet. I feel like a heathen anytime I am without for too long. Yes, our downstairs bathroom doesn't have one and I would rather run all the way upstairs for the sweet blast of butthole jet stream. Not procrastinating. Edit. Thanks for the silver. I've never gotten an award before. Yeah. I need to get to homework. Why did you do this to me? Just go ahead and do it. Then you can spend the rest of the time being lazy without the background noise of worry. Spicy food. Once you build a tolerance, the endorphin rush alone is worth the initial pain. Edit number 1. For you heat lovers out there, I highly recommend trying the tube of Terra peanuts. Just one peanut will send the ordinary person to the emergency room. This is the only spicy food that has been way spicier than I expected, and it honestly kicks my ass because I struggle with capsaicin extract. I'd rather eat 5 Carolina Reapers over one of these peanuts. Edit number 2. A lot of people have PM'd me asking for tips on building a tolerance to such food, along with tips on how to overcome the digestive discomfort after eating spicy food. Building a tolerance takes a lot of time, years, and requires you push yourself way beyond your limit once in a while. Begin with adding jalapenos to foods you enjoy such as omelets, burgers, salads, or stir fries. Work your way up by adding serranos, then habaneros, then chili doubles, etc. You can Google Scoville pepper scales to see a list of hot peppers and their heat level. After months of consistently adding peppers to normal foods you eat, start eating whole fresh peppers by themselves on a daily basis. In order to ease digestive discomfort from spicy foods, I recommend eating some plain Greek yogurt, a banana, bread, and Pepto-Bismol prior to eating spicy food. I can barely build a tolerance to mayo or anal. Not giving a duck about what people think. I've been unintentionally making more friends since doing this. Please elaborate. This sounds disgusting, but definitely delivering your placenta after giving birth. You'd think it would hurt just as bad, or that you'd feel relief from popping an 8-pound human out of your now very sore genitals. But nope. No relief until the placenta just slides out, and then it feels like someone's been standing on your chest for 9 months and you can finally breathe again. I felt light as a ducking feather. Insta satisfying. 10 out of 10 recommend. The kid's alright too, I guess. Delivering the placenta hurt worse than delivering the kid. At least for me it did. Even worse, yanking the placenta out before it's properly detached from the uterus. Think of the placenta like a plunger. Once it's in, it's a bit of a fight to get it out manually. Sometimes, it's just easier to wait for it to loosen up and detach by itself. Now imagine the plunger in your uterus, yanking on it with all of your might. That's how you end up with chunks left inside, leading to infections, or just pulling your entire uterus out. So yeah, just let that sucker come out on its own. Going to the movie theater alone. I really hate how it feels weird to have friends to go to a theater. It's the one social experience where you literally can't talk to anyone you go with. Go toward the end if a movie's theater run and you pretty much have the place to yourself except most Saturday nights. Sacrificing comfort in exchange for change. It's like getting out of the lukewarm bath before it gets cold. Sure, you're comfortable now, but if you give it up as a choice before it gets cold, then you'll feel much better. Edit. The city we live in has a lot of pollution, and while it's been nice, it's just been getting worse, so we will go to another place soon. Here's a video of us training to cycle from Hanoi to Europe. YouTube.com link. Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead roll in a cage? Give up smoking. Nearly a year for me. Best thing I ever did. I haven't smoked in a week now, which is the longest in last 5 years, and I think I will always miss that one with the morning coffee after I wake up. Switching your phone off for an entire weekend. Or if I have a small errand to run, I forget my phone at home and just hop in the car and go. My phone broke early last year and I went a month before buying a proper one. Survived on one of those cheap drug dealer phones. It was refreshing not seeing social media WhatsApp games for most of the day until I got home. Only took me about a day to get back into old habits though. I went about a month without one 5-6 years ago. I told people if they needed me to just email or send me a Facebook message. It was great. Sensory deprivation tanks. You strip down and get in a tank of body temperature salt water. The room is soundproof and pitch black. You just lie there for a bit and hallucinate. It sounds terrifying, especially for people with claustrophobia. But it's an incredible experience, and like anything I'd ever done before, I highly suggest everyone try it. Edit. Jesus ducking Christ. I logged back in this morning with 92 notifications. You'll need to chill. I thought I was getting spammed. Other notes. I know of Joe Rogan but don't listen to his podcast. I have tinnitus. Honestly, your heartbeat and blood flow are just as loud. Yes, you can have vivid hallucinations without drugs. That's kind of the whole point. Doesn't seem to work for everyone. But it sounds like some places don't actually deprive all your senses. Who the duck plays rain noises in these things? I floated 30 days in a row last year. It was life-changing. But have you tried DMT? Those scalp massager things that kind of look like alien torture devices. Those feel so ducking good, like non-sexual orgasms. Nice try, aliens. Waking up early to have a coffee as the sun rises. Be in the north. Sun rises at 10 AM in the winter. Profit. Eating vegetables. I'm working on eating healthier and I'm still not eating salads, but I'll eat veggies in a stir fry at least. Mixing them into stuff definitely makes it easier, although I personally like them drizzled in olive oil. Pretty much every vegetable does well roasted in an oven. You can season it to your preferences, or just use salt and let the vegetable shine. But either way, a nice roast does them well. I'm a big fan of roasted beets, broccoli, butternut squash, Brussels sprouts, and sweet potatoes. Yum. My TENS unit. Sending small electrical shocks through your muscles sounds like torture, but when you set it up right there is a twinge of pain and then it subsides. It's great. Even better is a compression mat, aka a bed of nails. I've fallen asleep on mine more than once due to how relaxing it is. For your information, try to avoid this, as being woken by little stabby pains when you roll over and you sleep is unfun. But I also fall asleep in MRI machines, so take that how you will. But I also fall asleep in MRI machines, so take that how you will. I thought I was the only one. The sound is relaxing. A vacation where you basically have no Wi-Fi or data access. After an initial withdrawal period, it's really amazing to feel present in the moment. When my friends and I go camping, we drive to an island on a river that is in the middle of nowhere. There is no Wi-Fi, no electricity, no running water and no other people. It's the most relaxing thing in the world. We try to do it a few weekends a year, if not for a full week at a time. What kind of river ain't got no running water? Actually committing to learning a new language improves memory, plus now you're bilingual. A pickleback. Taking a shot of whiskey and then a shot of pickle brine doesn't sound like a good time. However, unless you simply dislike the taste of pickles, it's awesome. It seems as though the brine somehow neutralizes the whiskey. My girlfriend, who otherwise hates any sort of shot or straight liquor, and otherwise isn't a big drinker at all, will do 3 picklebacks in a row. Russians always drink vodka with actual pickle. The brine is a hangover remedy for the next day. The brine is packed full of electrolytes. Riding your bike long distances. It won't be pleasurable until you condition your butt and build your baseline. But once you do, a ride through the countryside at a leisurely pace is one of life's great pleasures, and will inevitably make you feel like a kid again. Cue that one person that has to post about their horrific childhood in response to my last point. It's always worth buying a pair of cycling shorts with the protector for your perineum on the inside. Although they are lycra, they will literally save your ass. I just wear mine under some shorts. Join our community Discord, link in description. Going in a capsule type water slide. It's really tense in the line when you know how it works, and the noises are frightening. But once you go, you see it's a really cool feeling of going very fast in a tube. Both times that I tried this, I just imagined myself as those tubes they had at the bank. It made the experience much more enjoyable. Divorce. At first, I thought we didn't have to do something so drastic. I wasn't positive I would be able to get through my darkest days. Now, I'm glad I went through all of it, having become much stronger as an individual. My divorce was one of the darkest periods of my life, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm such a better person and in such a better place after my ex-wife decided to pull the plug. Bless her heart. I know it was an extremely difficult decision for her to make. Eating raw fish sushi, or sashimi. Wife hated the thought of sushi, smell, texture, everything. Got her into some cooked sushi rolls and then slowly got her into raw by letting her try a piece of whatever I had ordered. Now about once a month she goes, OMG, sushi sounds so good, can we get some for dinner? And we get it and it's amazing. Oh, I've got time for sushis and sashimis. Having your ears cleaned out by someone else. Yeah baby. When I was in high school I was water skiing and took a hard fall that dislodged a giant earwax ball that clogged my ear. A nurse squirted some warm water in both my ears until all the wax came out. It seemed like I could hear leaves rustling from a mile away after that. Eating with chopsticks. It actually makes Chinese food taste better because you don't taste the metal of the fork. I swear half the reason I get Chinese takeout is because I enjoy eating with chopsticks. I'm going to blow your mind. Did you know you can eat almost anything else with chopsticks too? Anal. I told myself like a year ago that I'd never stick it in a woman's ass. And then my girlfriend and I got drunk and did it, and I do not regret it. There's something about butt play, man. I just love her ass. I want to turn her asshole into Hurricane Katrina with my tongue. Haggis. I think a lot of tourists assume this isn't really eaten in Scotland, but rather a myth to trick visitors. But it is genuinely so good. If you go to a fish and chip shop in Scotland, they'll do you a haggis supper, which is haggis dipped in batter, deep fried and served with chips. UK. Americans are unhealthy. Also UK. Haggis dipped in batter, deep fried and served with chips. Scotland is a wild place. I never thought I'd encounter somewhere that fried pizza is a normal thing to eat. Great to eat, but an absolute bastard to catch one in the wild. Fries dipped in ice cream. I haven't been in forever, but now I really need a large fry and large frosty from Wendy's. Thanks. When you try proving something in mathematics and you do it, best feeling ever. Broccoli. Lightly steamed broccoli put into a hot pan with olive oil, fresh garlic, fresh cracked pepper, a pinch of salt and a squeeze of lemon. More like looked horrible because I'm a light beer drinker, but I tried a Guinness once and it was delicious and I spent the entire drink experience being pleasantly amazed. I thought I was going to have to chew it. People who don't drink act like Guinness is heavy and dark, but it's actually very light. A 12 ounce Guinness is 125 calories, which isn't bad when you realize those gross low-cal beers like Michelob Ultra are 95 calories. Nudism. Absolutely horrifying or taboo to most, at least in the US, but absolutely wonderful once you try it. It is truly a liberating feel. Ignoring all the disgusted stares in the office can be kinda hard, though. I keep telling you it's not an office, it's a classroom. Now please, this is no way for a kindergarten teacher to act. Smearing your own shit on the walls of the subway at 5:34 p.m. on a Wednesday. r/suspiciously specific. Being incredibly shy about your interests, then finding someone with the same interests and talking about it. Losing track of time in the processes. Nasal irrigation. I thought it would sting. Turns out the right salinity levels make it extremely comfortable to drain your schnoz. I've seen some gnarly things come out my nose during a sinus infection. Getting your back cracked. My boyfriend cracked my back when we started dating and I was scared because of how loud the videos were online and stuff. But holy shit, I'm begging him to do it now and we have a routine. Getting choked during sex. Reading your first book. Those wire spider things you scratch your head with. Getting a pedicure. Always came off as something women gay men do. Tried it and definitely one of the best ways to treat yourself. I'm now happy to be woman gay man. Drilling a hole through your fingernail. I had my thumb crushed by a winch handle and it started bleeding under my thumbnail and swelling straight away and it was very painful. I started to drill the nail and then chickened out. The next morning I woke up in extreme pain from my entire hand and couldn't move my thumb. The pressure of the swelling was slowly pushing my thumbnail off, so that gave me the courage to drill it, and as soon as it broke through the nail, blood squirted everywhere and the pressure was relieved. The sensation of relief was amazing. 10 out of 10 would drill hole in my fingernail again. Brussels sprouts, if nicely roasted. Most drugs. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.